So the last targeted question, Andy, as we move from design into construction and potentially further, by better connecting people and leveraging data, we can achieve a greater awareness and collaboration than ever before, above and below ground, and more importantly, across silos. What are some examples of success and value WSB has seen through digital delivery?
It's a really good question, and I'm going to zero in on value, right? So I think we're all interested in value, and I was listening to you talk, Bruce, and you used the phrase digital-ready clients, and it just brought a question to mind. If we're thinking of value granular, like for individual organizations or industry-wide, like how would you see bringing clients who don't feel like they're digital ready? What could they do to get digital ready?
Yeah, good question. We had an example like that with Indiana DOT. So we had a big project we just won working with Steve and the account team, and really looking at what are some of the features that they're looking for, what are some of their digital priorities, and introducing some of those, and some really simple things like better organization of the survey and drone information. And yeah, just looking at what do they really need, and then helping them if they do need a hand with some of the workspace or some of the other Bentley tools, making sure they understand that we're transmitting those to them at the end of the project for future use with other engineering consulting firms. So I think it kind of speaks to doing the right thing and making sure that first and foremost the clients and the infrastructure is being taken care of and maintained and designed appropriately, and then yeah, allowing them to adopt as much of that when they're ready to do so.
I like the way you said that. It's focused on what do they need, deliverables. It's really good. I've been hearing in the various discussions and presentations, there's a couple guys in here right now that I was really impressed with their presentation yesterday on the electrification of a rail line in England, and just the way that they used the model to clear so many issues ahead of being on site, safety taken into consideration, quality, multi-jurisdiction, a lot of players involved in those things. And so bringing a ton of value, and it got me thinking, where are we at as an industry in the whole discussion about value related to, I'll just call it model-centric workflows? Not just digital delivery, but these model-centric digital environment, 3D ways of delivering. Where are we really at? And the thought that came to mind was that when we talk to people and they sort of demand, what's my return on investment, or what's the value I'm going to get out of this? I thought of it as somebody sitting in a horse carriage and an automobile went flying by them, and then somebody comes by and says, what's the ROI for the automobile? They're not going to feel like they need to defend it. They're just going to say, I want that. Whatever that was that just went by, I want that. And it seems like that's where we're at as an industry. And I heard a really provocative thing in one of the presentations on using 4D and some other things on a nuke site. And he said, it's almost criminal that we don't use this more. I thought, oh boy, I thought I said things provocative, but I mean, he was going for it. We really are at that point, I think, that once you start down this path and you start to see the tools that are available to us, and I guess I'm on sort of a roll with the analogy, so I'll use another one, but it's like a carpenter comes to a job site and he sees a handsaw sitting there and a skill saw, and he keeps picking up the handsaw. At some point we need to say, all right, I think I'm going to show you how to use that skill saw, and let's put the thing to work.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where we're at as an industry. The tools are they're not incremental improvements. They're order of magnitude improvements. And I'll give you just a couple quick examples. One, how many times do you do a ROM estimate on a very large project when you're talking about from concept up through procurement? And let's just say it's 10 times. And you're deriving quantities every time, and your quantities are probably off, and you're trying to chase things around, and you're trying to get your arms around what's the cost of this project. You got budgeting considerations, and you're talking to your senior management, and there's lots of things. We've been able to use model-centric, kind of ROM level quantities, And I can do it one person, 4 hours on a couple $2 billion project. I can get to enough quantity to be able to have reasonable confidence that I'm in the range of what that project is worth. That's not what it takes the old way.
Yeah.
I've done hundreds of them.
And so you figured out you have the technology, you figured out the process to be able to do that. You have the right people.
But it's an example of order of magnitude improvement. Yeah. We're not in the middle of incremental improvement. We're in the middle of order of magnitude improvement.
Disruption, right?
I'll give you another example. I know we're running, but here, I think this is important. Work in progress design management, live data. All design teams being able to see the implications of the design decisions that they're making in a real-time environment. We have the technology that's available. Yep. We don't need to continue to have people work in data silos. There's a lot of work from home. There's a lot of spread out design teams. We have the technology available to have live data environments to be able to manage that design so everybody sees that live environment. Again, I'll go back to, I'll say what the guy said yesterday. It's almost criminal that we're not doing it.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.